Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to give you the 5 super simple online advertising funnels where you can start generating leads and sales, whatever your budget. Roll the intro. So let's get right into the video. First up, ignore the Ridian-esque locks. Peroxide will calm down after a few washes. So in today's videos, you probably heard a lot of online marketers talk about funnels and exactly what they are. What they are is guiding people from a position where they are unaware of you to aware, to interested, and then to a customer. Okay, there's lots of different models for this. Trust me, the marketing at university, ADA, ATR, like all these different funnels. But effectively, think of it as you're taking someone on a journey from not knowing who the fuck you are.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
To familiar with you, but not entirely sure and desiring the product, to wanting the product before evaluating their purchase, and then becoming a customer and purchasing. You've then got all the customer journey afterwards in terms of making sure they are loyal, advocate, and increasing the frequency and value of the purchases, as well as turning them into referral mechanisms with your brilliant service and letting them shout out the rooftops. For this video precisely, I am focusing on the frameworks, the strategies, and the structure of these online advertising funnels that you can start, and it will bring you success. So, let's make myself a bit smaller and get out of the way. Not obstructive. So the first one is a really simple one, and we call it the cost calculator funnel. The cost calculator funnel, if you notice on here, you're driving traffic from Google ads, Facebook ads, organic traffic, okay? And by the way, on the left-hand side here, they might rotate between Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, organic, email, okay? But just think of that on the left-hand side, where you're driving traffic from. The easiest way is going to be paid advertising, but you'll also want to be driving traffic organically through there and any other means you can, because you're guiding them into that first step of the customer journey and that marketing funnel. Okay, then you'll be driving to a specific page, which is around calculating a cost. The most common example of this is for estate agents, where they're calculating the cost of your mortgage or calculating the potential value that your home might have, whether you rent it or sell it. Other ones can include around building and constructing works, and any service like that where really the customer's in the dark about knowing how much the cost is, and it's something they might like, but they're curious around the cost. Simply, all this is a lead generation tool. All these websites are done to do, they're giving you maybe an accurate quote, but quite often, more often than not, it's just an email collection tool, which then can start the conversation and start a retargeting advertising process because they know you're interested. If you're going in there as a landlord, for example, and filling out a form to basically guesstimating how much rental yield you could get a year in that postcode, they're going to give you a rough figure, and that's calculated in the back ends. And you can make that automated or you can make it manual. All they're doing is getting a lead from you, okay? That's taken to a form with a few key questions that help qualify you as a lead or help qualify your potential customer as a lead. And anyone who hits this position, so they've gone onto the page, but they've fucked off, they're going to be retargeted because they're still worth going after. If someone's hit the form page and fucked off, they're worth going after. Once they've converted into an email lead, you are giving them that initial quote, you're delivering that quote instantly, and it can be precisely accurate or it can be a rough estimate based on the data they feed in with their qualifying questions. And then you're sending them nurture emails, which guide back to an actual contact us form or the actual sales page and actual lead form that you're targeting people with. Okay, too often brands will go in, or businesses, especially small businesses, small professional services, tradesmen, handymen, etc. They're going to come in all guns blazing, balls out on the sales page, and people aren't going to be interested. It's like, I don't care who you are, I'm really not in the market yet, blah, 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 blah. A lot of objections, and people are resistant, especially British people are resistant to banging on the door sales. This, however, think of all these advertising funnels as basically Trojan horses. Okay, they're mini little Trojan horses which gradually nurture your relationship with the customer and guide people through. Once they're, as I said, once on a lead, they're on an automated email sequence. Okay, these are automated emails which you design to gradually nurture, educate, inform, and attract, desire, and persuade the person who became a lead to go back to the sales page, get in touch, that phone call, that initial consultation, the quote. It depends. This latter half of these lead magnets do depend how you prefer to do business. If you want to appropriately scale to a huge company, you want to make as much of it as automated as possible so no human error comes into it, and you can easily increase the frequency of these leads, increase the volume of your leads, and increase the marketing and advertising behind it. Because the last thing you want is loads of leads coming in and trying to book in initial consultation and quote, but you having, in terms of people, the last thing you want is this whole structure to break down through a lack of time. Okay, because the idea behind any of these marketing campaigns is you're going to get busy. So the more automated you can make this without losing a personal touch, the better it will scale over time. You can obviously tweak, fix it. And we do understand that for smaller businesses, you might want to have your hands over this and see a personal touch throughout. But we would implore that you have a mind. We would recommend that it's always in the view to automate as much as possible in the process of managing your business. The types of companies this is going to be most suitable for: estate agents, tradesmen, swimming pools, fencing, gardening, like these sort of companies where people might hugely underestimate or overstate a value just because it's not commonly out there, and there probably is wildly different figures from company to company and quote to quote. Okay, so yeah, anything you're really giving a quote back to and you want to automate some of that lead generation process where it's not just flyers and referrals mainly. Okay, so up next, the ultimate guide to funnel. Okay, and I really like this one because what you're doing is giving valuable insight and content and tips and recommendations for someone in that purchasing decision. Say if it's the ultimate guide to loft conversions, or the ultimate guide to hair extensions. I should probably know the name of a specific hair extension, or the ultimate guide to cheese boards, or the ultimate guide to barbecues. Whatever your topic and industry you're in, you're giving the customers who are in the market the ultimate guide to. Okay, you're building yourself as an authoritative figure, you're building trust, and you're helping people in that decision mode. Equally, the advertising campaigns around this are much more clickable, much more interesting, and much more persuasive to someone who's in the market. These really work well in tandem with Google advertising and YouTube advertising, because you can go after people with specific search queries. And this also can work very well for B2B companies too, because you're serving a specific problem to a specific niche with specific content. Okay, very similar to the cost calculator funnel. Very similar to the cost calculator funnel. So the first step is you're guiding people to a short blog which basically sells the download of the ultimate guide to, and it might talk around the problems and pain points people have when making this decision, whichever industry you're in. Then, once they've guided that form, and you might want to add some good qualifying questions onto that form, they're a lead. They're in a nurture sequence after you've delivered that ultimate guide to PDF. You can make things like that trackable, and etc., etc. You can make these PDFs trackable so you can see who's viewing it, but perhaps the best way is to monitor through your email sequences who's clicking back, okay, who's clicking to the link and clicking to the PDF repeatedly and repeatedly opening the emails. That way, you do have some sort of manual qualification behind who's the warmest lead and who's not. Because some people are going to download this and never get back in touch. But that's why we recommend a good email automation system. We personally use ActiveCampaign, link in the description. It makes setting up all these automated email sequences really easy. You can scale up in terms of the membership, and we just find it easy. It's personal preference. There are other ones out there, but ActiveCampaign does what you need for pretty much any and all businesses. It's really easy to look at all the stats and reports and things like that. So yeah, link in the description if you want to download ActiveCampaign. And again, it's guiding it all back and you're nurturing these people. Okay, you might have these people on an email list for weeks, months, but the idea of having The idea is this lead magnet that they download, this ultimate guide to, kicks off an automated email sequence of maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe 6 or 7 messages. And this is all up to you to improve and optimize over time based on the learnings that you're seeing live. Okay. And I've mentioned the word lead magnet because it's literally a magnet to bring in your leads. It's generating leads because you're persuading and attracting people in, as opposed to going balls out, banging the door down and saying, buy my shit. So those two are very similar. The ultimate guide to, I really think, could work in pretty much any industry that people need to make a decision for. Like, it could be anything. It could be home energy, boilers. It could be a car. It could be, like I said, a barbecue. All of these things. It could be a school. Like, it could be a school. It could be a gym. It could be a Pilates class. Like, anything like that. Start. And you don't need to necessarily have everything in that one lead magnet. It could be the 10 reasons why, could be an alternative name for this, or the top 10 issues with, or the 10 biggest, or 10 facts you didn't know about. Like, all of these little BuzzFeed style clickbait headlines, use that. I just think the ultimate guide to is a great way to show off your knowledge, and you're basically pitching someone the do's and don'ts of that decision-making process that you would do with them on the phone anyway. You do if they came to you cold, but you're automating and putting this into a system that means you can do it repeatedly and consistently generate leads online. So the next one, the viral giveaway funnel. So what this is all centering your campaign around a giveaway where the user or the entrant who earns the most points wins a massive prize. Okay, this might take a bit more explaining, and there's a link in the description where I talk in detail around the viral giveaway funnel and use plenty of different examples and case studies from ones we've used it before. Okay, but essentially you're driving traffic from, again, all those sources to what we call a sales page, but really it's an entry page of the competition. You're showing people what they could win, and they could win what the best. You're showing people what they could win. And the best practice behind this is to make an unbelievable prize. If you're a restaurant, think black card, as in the Nando's black card, where you could be a free customer for life. If you're a barber, think free fades for a year. Those sorts of things where it's actually giving a really tangible reward and making one person delighted where they're going to tell all your friends and actually persuade them to enter. I don't mean like these typical ones you just see on Instagram where it's like and tag and share and we'll give you a free box or something. It needs to be a bit more elevated than that, because the results and the tangible long-term benefits for you as a business are going to be a bit more elevated than that as well. So like I mentioned, the normal giveaways on Instagram, it's just like and tag a friend, but you're not gathering any data from that. You're not persuading anybody further down the funnel. You're not really, it's very lucky if you're introducing people to a product that way and then they end up purchasing. You're just getting followers for the followers' sake, and that means fuck all. Okay, so once people want to win this once in a lifetime competition, gyms could be free gym membership and X amount of hours of PT and a body transformation and all the supplements, etc. you could want. Okay, once they enter, with again a few qualifying questions to help qualify the lead, because all this is you're building up a huge database of leads. You're constantly bringing people in after they enter the competition to what we call a competitions action page. I might put some examples in so you can see it, but essentially the actions could be like us on Instagram, comment on this YouTube video, share this Facebook post, tag us in your Instagram story, fill out this survey, buy a product from our website, join our mailing list. The list goes on, download our app. The list goes on and on and on. Each of these actions will have a corresponding points total. And obviously the ones that are more further down that funnel in terms of joining our email list, buy our product, download our app, etc., they're going to need more points. And the clever thing then is you're getting more and more people used to transacting with you on a micro level. And the more points someone has, the further up the leaderboard they climb. And they can see this. It's interactive on this landing page. They can climb further up the leaderboard, and you might give out multiple prizes, but the key there is you're hardwiring into our silly little human mind of competition. One of the key actions that we always focus on is inviting other users into the competition. So you're getting that swell effect, and that's why we call it the viral giveaway, and you're hacking that viral engagement. Because not only are they also inviting 3, 10, 20 friends into it, and you're giving this swell for getting one user in terms of that paid acquisition through these traffic methods, you're actually getting a swell of entries into the competition. And then if they're sharing it upon their timelines as per the competition actions, you're creating this basically huge army of mini ambassadors that are sharing your content and sharing your brand all over their own social media profiles, and you're creating a huge buzz and excitement around your brand. Okay, and then one of the other things that we've seen great success with this is if you hit a certain points threshold, you could unlock a unique discount to your business. So I'll just go with the gym example again. Say if you hit 2,000 points, then they could get X% off their gym membership, or 2 free months if they sign up for 12, that sort of thing. This really works well for e-commerce businesses, and you're talking fashion, you're talking food, like all these FMCGs and stuff like that that are on direct to consumer e-commerce businesses. You could build a whole brand through this. You could transform your business through running a few of these giveaways a year. It can also work for local brick and mortar restaurants, barbers, things like that, gyms is what I've said. Try it. The platform we use to host this, and I truly believe it's the best one out there, is viper.io. Okay, viper.io. Another link in the description, okay, because if you start using that, playing around with it, it's quite cheap as well for the lowest level. It will bring you tangible results if you learn to nurture those emails and dominate your email marketing, as well as make the prize integrated and the actions of the competition integrated into your core product. Because not only that, everyone who enters the competition or even thinks about entering the competition going to the landing page, you can retarget in 2 months' time saying offer for X with your Facebook and Instagram advertising. Okay, really like that one. These next two are more for your B2B business. So if you're a B2C business, you don't give a shit about B2B, thank you for watching. Come back soon, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. B2B companies, and particularly boring B2B companies and really weird niches, is actually the way we earn most of our revenue, because they dominate in their market, because people aren't doing it, and there's basically a fresh blue ocean to go out there and do this, because no one's looking at these sort of online advertising tactics. They're still hoping that they could close people at a event or exhibition or trade conference and spending huge amounts on overpriced in niche industry magazine titles, and buying shitty leads from a lead generation company that no one even picks up the phone and has that same email address anymore. Okay, so the lead magnet funnel, very similar to the Ultimate Guide 2, and it's pretty much the same structure, but you might have a dozen of these for different stages of the buying cycle. Okay, so you might have someone who doesn't even know they have the problem that your B2B business consultancy service or agency solves. So you're raising awareness of the problem. The next level of the funnel is you might offer different solutions to that problem and how they could fix that issue. Hint, your services are tied into that. Things like case study lead magnets, they are a great one. If you recorded a video like I am, but it's hidden behind a closed wall in terms of watch our latest case study, that can be a lead magnet. Okay, there's so many things that do it. Think of any software you've tried to download. Has it taken you to a page where you could download the Ultimate Guide to XXX, or the 167 things you didn't realize about this, or 10 different ad examples, blah, blah, blah. Take a look at a company like Salesforce, okay? The amount of lead magnets they market, advertise to, and actually continuously pump out is staggering. And it's all to different industry verticals, all to different niches, all for slightly different problems of the product and different stages of the buyer cycle. And then you're in their system. Okay, you're in their system, and lo and behold, once you click on a few more things and interact with their products or lead magnets more, a sales rep will probably come to you. You're going to be more open to that conversation because you've already built trust and authority and knowledge on the product before talking to them. Okay, the main benefit of adopting quite a sophisticated lead magnet funnel is you're educating the potential customer before you've ever gotten a room to pitch them, before you've ever gotten a call with them, before you've ever had a meeting with them. They have already answered some of their objections already. They're more informed than just a cold pitch, okay? They're more receptive to speaking to you. This can work really well if you've got a high value B2B service where you know that every customer is worth X hundred thousand, X million pounds a year. and you're paying pennies on the dollar equivalently to advertise on Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, and retarget these people who opt into the lead magnet but don't convert into meetings or pitches or webinars, etc. Okay, so really powerful tool. Too many B2B businesses have still got flooded. Too many B2B businesses have still got a team of 20 salespeople doing fuck all, really, and then complaining that marketing hasn't given them warm leads. Cut your costs, start running with lead magnets, improve the quality of your leads, and make it easier and more automated to turn those leads into sales. Next up, this I would recommend for only if you've cracked the lead magnet funnels and you're familiar with online advertising. It's called the Always On webinar, and it does get some stick from some people because the most common practitioners of it are these like get rich quick fake money making online gurus who will sit there for a 2-hour webinar, just a massive ego trip for themselves, where they tell you their life story and all the struggles they've had, and they were just like you, but if you buy from them this secret thing they're not really telling you about for $997 today, because this is the last time it will ever be that price, then that's the main practitioners of this model. However, you can do it with a bit more honesty and for a better product. Okay, if you're interested in any of that entrepreneur stuff and fake online gurus, check out Mike Winnett's channel and it'll make sure you don't fall for any of those tactics. But yeah, okay, so I'll start describing the Always On webinar funnel. What you want to do with this Always On webinar is treat it as a free training. You're giving them a free video training which has a lot of value inherently to itself. Anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. Anything above that could get a bit too... I mean, I wouldn't sign up and I definitely wouldn't view it, and I'd probably try and watch it in ×2 speed, at least. Okay, but the webinar registration form should be a sales page which, again, highlights the pain points they're having, the problems, and introduce your solution and why you'd be worth listening to and how you can help them solve those pain points and problems. This free video training is almost the same as what you would do in a pitch scenario in a room, okay? And you give them some tangible advice and some extra freebies, whether it's the PDF lead magnets you've been on about or an exercise or practice that helps them solve their problem. Really, what you're getting is you're getting a big email database, and their people are learning from you. They're starting to almost feel like they're in the room with you and trust you a lot more than just a 10-page PDF. What you can do, which in this structure of the webinar funnel shows, is you sign people up, thank you page, and they get a couple of emails. Okay, they might get a couple of emails which introduce it. You might not want to do that. You might want to go straight into showing the webinar. Okay, but some people like to pretend it's live when it's not. I'm in two minds about this. I think you should be honest and transparent and just go, look, this isn't live. I've pre-recorded this. Watch when you want. Or you might want to have a sense of urgency and scarcity. You just show it at regular time slots throughout the day. It's up to you, but I think transparency, honestly, the way forward. You might want to initially try this with an actual live webinar that you schedule for Thursday at 9 a.m. and you get people on through that way. But bear in mind that some people might not be free on Thursday 9 a.m. and whatever time you end up picking, some people can't do it. So this is why this is a good thing to have it always on. Okay? You send regular emails to people that attended, and using a lot of different webinar software, you can see who actually attended and has watched the video and who hasn't. And you have follow-ups to them to actually convert them into a sales meeting or a phone call or buying the product straight away. For anyone that hasn't seen it, you can send them replays, you can send them chunks and things out of that. But the conversion rate on this lead magnet is normally higher. But obviously, as you can literally see by the diagram, the setup and the structure of it is a lot more fiddly. It can be more difficult to get right. And I would say in some industries, people might already be cottoned onto it in terms of, oh, there's just going to be another person spouting shit. And you need to make sure that you're going there with a good product, not trying to con anyone into doing anything they don't want to do, and selling. Basically treat this as you in a pitch with them, or you holding a webinar or seminar, but it's just always on, it's always running. I think for beginners, the easiest way to do this would be to film an actual live webinar, and you do that and you advertise people to that live webinar, and then you use this example or you use this content to replay it and replay it. Okay? But yeah, I hope that's helped. I hope these 5 simple advertising funnels are something that you could start playing around with and toy with, or look further into. If you're a business and you're looking at think, oh, that all sounds great, but I don't have the fucking first clue where to start with it, and I'm not even sure how to go about advertising online or creating these landing pages, lead magnets, etc., and think I'm chatting absolute waffle, just get in touch. Like, I'd be happy to talk to you, be happy to recommend you a few different places to go, or you can start working with us as our client. Okay, the link's in the description, where we'll give you a free video audit of your competitors, your industry, and what we think could work for you. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much and peace out. One thing quickly to add on the end of this is I talked about a lot of landing pages and how to do that, and sometimes your website developers are too expensive, or your website simply isn't cut up to scratch. We'd recommend using a landing page builder, and the one that we use for all of our work and our clients is called Instapages, and there's a link in the description. So yeah, check that out and speak soon.